Ayush alongside my buddy Pierce Allen. No Dillon today. He's at the airport sipping some Jack, but um, we're here. We're at Super Bowl. It's just around the corner, so we're going to talk a bunch of Super Bowl stuff. We got some trade rumors that are also happening in the NFL, which will be fun to talk about. So let's get straight into it. All right. So first things first, let's talk about these trade rumors. So I think maybe it was what a couple of days ago now, Myles Garrett officially requested a trade from the Cleveland Browns. Wants to go to a championship contender, things like that. Obviously, the Browns are not in a super great spot. Um, but yeah, so Pierce, thoughts on that? Where do you think it should go? The whole 9 yards.
Well, if he wants to, I feel like if Miles Garrett really wants to compete and win a championship, I mean, there's gonna have to be, some really good suitors for him. I mean, a couple to name off a few. I feel like Green Bay would be a good suitor for him. Uh, the likes of, Green Bay, possibly Minnesota, but then again, there's a lot of what ifs because I mean, he could want to go home and play in Dallas or play in the Texas area, Houston. I mean, there are a whole lot of different things. I feel like it would just be he's gonna go to the highest bidder. Whoever gives up the most, draft capital or or players for him is gonna end up receiving this guy because these guys, this kind of talent, a Miles Garrett who is every year one of the top three defensive linemen in the game, defending defensive player of the year, who should honestly be more than just one. I think he should be like two or three with the likes of T.J. Watt and at the time Aaron Donald. Both of those three were dominating and terrorizing NFL backfields for the good half decade. So, but yeah, it's really it's cool to see Aggies as A&M fan. I mean, I usually probably know the same way. Just seeing
Yeah,
an Aggie succeed in the professional level. Him, Miles, Mike Evans, but just seeing where he is now, it's like okay, it's about time because I
mhm.
Cleveland isn't the best franchise to play for. They'll use you'll make good marketing standpoints and stuff, but in terms of championships and stuff, it doesn't. Cleveland hasn't had a football champion in a very long time. So yeah.
That's very true. Yeah, I mean, the dude's about to turn 30, I think, this upcoming season, so he knows that time's ticking for sure, and he wants to get that ring. And I think, honestly, any um, contending team could really benefit from him. I think I'm trying to just think about the guys in the Super Bowl right now. Chiefs could obviously, I mean, they have really good edge rushers in Karlaftis, but adding him would bring another dimension to that defense. Um, Eagles can only get better adding Miles Garrett. Think about the Texans. You think about, um, I'm just trying to go down the Bills. You think about the Ravens. Literally any team that has a chance at a ring in the next year or so, I feel like could benefit from adding Miles Garrett. And so, to me, the question more is how much are you willing to give up for him? Because there's going to be a pretty um, active bidding war for him. I think
Hmm.
there's plenty of conversation saying that he's going to they're going to request multiple first round picks for him, which I think is a little interesting, honestly. Um, because me personally, I'm not sure if I would give up multiple. I think one I would give up for sure, and then maybe another, maybe like a third or a fourth along with that if we're sticking strictly to picks. But just with um, how many teams would might want them, I think that the Browns could really benefit from kind of upping the price as much as they can um, out of Miles Garrett. So that's kind of how I see it. How many picks do you think he's worth?
I mean, by the looks of it, I mean this guy is a freak of nature. north of 3 to 4 first round picks. That's I mean, you don't get these kind of talented guys that edge that
That's
can move
true.
as fast as he can without giving up that much talent. It'll
That's
take
true.
3 to 4 first rounders, or if you're trying to go less, you're giving up another big player for him as well.
Yeah. I think the main thing that I'm thinking about, I guess, when I'm that it makes me hesitant to give me multiple is just the fact that he's getting pretty old. And I
Hmm.
think I'm looking at the contract right now. I think his contract expires after 2026. So he has 2 years left on his deal right now, and he has four void years after that. But so I mean, I can maybe see two. You give me a pick for each of the years that you have him. Um, but I think more than that, it's a little risky in my opinion. Just because he's obviously going to be great no matter what team he goes to. But there's that question of is he going to re-sign with the team that he gets traded to, and as well as is there is there going to be a drop off, and how much of a drop off is there going to be in his performance as he starts to age and get into his early 30s? But um, yeah, I think I'm just like literally I can see him playing well on every single team that I'm just thinking of off the top of my head. Um, I'm trying to think of a team that he like wouldn't fit on. I think it's harder to think of one, but um, but yeah, overall, I think it's gonna be very interesting to see how it plays out. Obviously, there's a little over 2 months until the draft, so time's ticking to make sure that the Browns get the picks that they want. Because the Browns can really kind of turn things around in terms if they can play their cards right here. I know we talked about what's his name, Andrew Berry, I think his name is, the GM for the Browns, and how he's uh, for sure on the hot seat just because of the Deshaun Watson contract and all that kind of stuff. But if he plays his cards right with this, I think this could be a very good chance that the Browns can kind of maybe stabilize sooner rather than later. Um, but yeah, you got anything else to
Yeah,
say about
I
that?
mean, yeah. I was as of today. I was, I'd gotten off of work or it was either today or yesterday. Got off work and I was looking through social media and I've seen some possible like mock trades. Like if he plays his cards right, the GM he could possibly trade Miles Garrett for picks that can impact him this year in the draft. There's talks of possibly getting Tennessee involved, where they
Mm,
could trade for the number one pick and their second and third round pick to give them Miles Garrett.
wow, that would
Yes,
be something.
it'd be something. It'd be a pipe. I don't know if it's like a pipe dream for Tennessee fans because I think they really would want a quarterback right now.
Yeah.
But just the idea of it, of just the idea of what they could do. They could trade with New England. They could
Mm,
trade with, you know, Jacksonville. Like they could trade in that top four and be like, hey, you guys want Miles? Here's Miles. Just hand over your first rounder for this year.
exactly. And you can even
They
trade
could
with.
double dip. They could draft a quarterback and then possibly draft a Abdul Carter if he's
Mm,
there at their pick, at that second pick or first
yeah.
pick at the first round. So
Yep.
there are a lot of things that can happen for the Browns if they play
Yeah.
their cards right. Because I don't know. I mean, this guy did give Deshaun Watson a $230 million contract,
Yeah. And like
and
while
he's
you were saying
on.
that and talking about the top picks, like the first one that came to mind was the Niners, because they
Uh, yeah,
they have I think a top 10, maybe just outside the top 10 pick,
they're
and
number 11, I believe. I think they're pick
okay,
11. They're right
yeah,
before the
and
Cowboys at
I
12.
feel like they're a team that maybe could benefit, not necessarily benefit, but they don't necessarily need that like high end type of pick, just because they've mainly just been dealing with a ton of injuries this past season. And if you're able to trade that pick for someone like Miles Garrett, pair him up with Nick Bosa and Fred Warner and everyone else on that defense, that'll be
Just the thought is
very,
terrifying.
yeah,
The
exactly.
thought is terrifying as a
But
Cowboy fan.
I think that is something that the Niners would really want to think about. Obviously, they need secondary help there, but um, the fact that this draft is not necessarily the strongest secondary wise, in my opinion, Dylan might
It's not.
disagree since he knows more than I do. But um, yeah, I think this is a very good opportunity. I think just like as I'm thinking about it and talking about it, the Niners might be the number one choice, or in terms of, or the Niners might be the top guys. I'd be like, this is our chance to really make that push that we've been needing to make the past like 5 seasons at this point. Um, and this might be the big move that they try to make to finally get over that hump, you know. So will be very interesting to see how that turns out. But uh, a lot of time, about 2 months until the draft, and a lot of rumors and a lot of speculation until then, most likely. So um, let's move on to the Super Bowl now. It's on this big game, only 4 or 5 days away now. So um, obviously, we know the two teams that are playing, the Eagles and the Chiefs. Eagles going for that three-peat. Chiefs, or no, Chiefs going for that three-peat. Eagles trying to stop that, make sure that they can get their second ring in like the past 10 years, which will be interesting to see how that plays out as well. What do you think about this matchup and how do you see it going?
This matchup is going to be one in the trenches on both sides, offensively and defensively. Who's going to impose their will? Who's going to be able to run the football and push the ball downfield offensively? I mean, the Chiefs are known, Andy Reid's one of the brightest offensive minds in the game still. When he's this is year, like he's in his third decade of coaching here in the NFL. It's been or 20 years. I'm sorry. I'm trying to make him seem way too old,
Yeah,
but
that's
he's one
like,
of the he's one of the brightest minds I think I've ever seen coach a football team. Meanwhile, on the other side, you got you know Mr. Almost broke Eric Dickerson's record. They not just sat me out in the final game of the season. You know, if he gets loose and he's cracking three or two 60-yard rushes for touchdowns, hey Chiefs, you gotta catch up, and you can't have these slow drives because if you don't have the ball last and they're scoring in 2, 3 plays each because of Barkley taking the top off your defense, it's gonna be tough. I
mhm,
really both defenses are gonna show up in this game. They have to. There's the Chiefs have to show up front seven wise to contain Barkley, and the Eagles defense has to just get to Patrick Mahomes. If you disrupt him, I think you disrupt the entire offense. If he has all day to stand back there and dice, and he's going to dice up your secondary because he's already done it once. Like the
mhm.
secondary was, it was now I wouldn't say diced up, but like
They won.
y'all lost to them two
Yeah,
years ago, and your secondary was torched on the final play of that Super Bowl. So yeah, just show up. Both defenses have to show up. I feel I'm a broken record. It's going
yeah.
to be a
I
game that's defensively minded. It has to be for both
yeah,
teams.
I completely agree. It's going to be a low scoring game in my opinion. I mean, I'm basically going to be a record player to what you're saying, but it's going to, I think, in order for the Eagles to really um, stay in this game, I think they're going to be the ones. Obviously, they're probably the underdogs, and this is also probably the biggest competition they've had to face in these playoffs. They've had I would say, a pretty decently easy path to the Super Bowl at this point. They got to avoid the Lions, got to avoid the Vikings. So, um, and now they got to go against the arguably, I guess they are the best team in the AFC, the Chiefs. Um, so I think you have to use Saquon as much as you can. Um, because if you look at that Bills game, um, the Bills play calling, in my opinion, was absolutely god awful. Because um, they put the ball in Josh. I mean, this is not necessarily a bad game plan, but they put the ball in Josh Allen's hands a little too much. Because James Cook was playing very, very well that entire game. The only problem is he
Very.
only got like 13 carries.
He was
Um,
gashing them too on those carries.
exactly. I think he had like 8 yards of carry. But he he only had one quarter. I think it was the third quarter. We had more than 2 carries, and that quarter was also the only quarter that the Bills outscored the Chiefs. And I think if the Bills had played James Cook a little bit more, used him a little more consistently, the Bills could be in the Super Bowl right now. But instead, we're talking about the Chiefs here. So I think the Eagles have to see that and learn and say that they cannot make that same mistake. But also, I think at the same time, like you can't put the ball in Saquon's hands too much, be over reliant on him, like the Bills were over reliant on Josh Allen. If you think about, I mean, the Chiefs are going to be almost exclusively game planning for Saquon and what they can do to minimize his impact on the game. I'm not sure if they'll be successful because almost every team has kind of tried to do that and failed. Um, but I think if there's a defense that can, it's the Chiefs because their defense has been able to adapt to almost any offense that they play. So um, at the same time that the Eagles need to start often or start run often and heavy with Saquon at the beginning of the game, they also got to be able to balance that with the pass because even though Hurts hasn't really had to do much, he's still capable of throwing the ball and he has elite weapons all over him with AJ Brown, Devontae Smith, Dallas Goedert. So he has the options around him, you know. So you got to be able to keep that Chiefs defense guessing at all times. Got to be able to um, play at your style of offense, at your tempo, and make sure they stay ahead of the sticks. So that the Chiefs don't really have that opportunity to get creative with their defenses when they get behind the line of scrimmage with their crazy blitzes and all their stunts and things like that. You know, so I think for the Chiefs or the Eagles, it's about playing at their tempo, at their time. Um, but you got to be. I'm trying to you can't play hurried, but you got to play at a um, fast tempo to make sure that the Chiefs can't really get their time and things going down the entire time. But and the other way, the Chiefs, um, it's going to be pretty interesting how they utilize. I think the Pauls they're going to throw it like almost 50 times this game just because I don't think Kareem Hunt and Isaiah Pacheco are going to be good enough to get past um, that front four, front seven of that Eagles defense. Kareem Hunt is going to be solid. I think he's going to be the guy that's going to be the lead back for him because Pacheco just hasn't really come back um, 100% to me after that injury earlier in the season. So it's going to be Kareem Hunt for most of the game, in my opinion. Um, but he's still not good enough to be able to get around, get through those guys in the middle and the guys that are waiting at the second level, you know. So I think this is a game where you could see Mahomes throw 40 plus times. Um, and I don't think that he's going to have a ton of time to throw either because that front seven, once again, is really good in both the pass and the rush game. So um, they're going to have to get super creative in terms of their short passing offense, which they're very capable of. Xavier Worthy is probably going to have a game either close to the line of scrimmage or behind the line of scrimmage. Just get the ball in his hands and try to get him into open space. Um, Same thing with Kelsey, try to get him into the middle, try to get him open and through their zones and things like that. Um, it's what the Chiefs kind of know. It's kind of their bread and butter, kind of that short throws, those quick timing type of things. It's just about if the Eagles are able to disrupt that timing and get there quick enough. And I think that it starts with just a lot of pressure. Corners playing press, jamming at the line of scrimmage. D line just kind of getting to the quarterback as best as they can. Um, but yeah, it's going to be a really close game. I'm trying to see if I'm missing anything in terms of my thought process with this game. Yeah, I
Here's
think
some. I've got something. I feel like one thing that we haven't really talked about was that we talked about how Mahomes is gonna have to use his throw the ball 50 times because that front seven, the running game's not gonna work as well for Baltimore the Chiefs and the Eagles need to balance, make sure they have a balanced attack. The thing I feel like you know I honestly forgot about it. Um, and it's the fact that saw it quite a bit in this AFC Championship game. I mean, we've seen it since Mahomes took over. Is his ability to extend plays and extend drives. Can you keep him in the pocket?
mhm,
Is what I'm concerned about. Are the Eagles going to fall? Are they going to live and die by the sword of saying, Mahomes, you're going to have to beat us, and we're going to drop six dudes in the sec. We're gonna be in dime or nickel the entire game, and guess what? You're gonna have to find a way to beat us with your arm or beat us with your legs. Are they gonna be willing to live and die by that, or are they gonna send an extra man and run the risk of getting burnt? That's like
yeah,
it's a double-edged sword that they're gonna have to deal with, and they're
mhm,
constantly gonna be juggling because that's how dynamic that offense is you can blitz, you can send two extra guys on a blitz to Mahomes, and if he escapes, you're in trouble.
mhm. Yeah. I mean, to add on to that, I don't know. Like I don't have like numbers to back this up, but I feel like I like it. I don't feel like teams really use a spy on Mahomes just because they don't see him as much of a runner. But in the playoffs, he always ends up running a bunch just because
Hmm.
either teams are able to shut down the receivers or things like that, but then the the front four can't get to the quarterback, so then Mahomes just he has a little lane to get a quick 13 yards on the ground, you know. So um, I can't really say if this a QB spy would be effective. I mean, I feel like teams have probably tried it in the past, but I feel like that's also something to consider in terms of trying to contain them.
I mean,
And also like that's
Zach
true, Zach
Vaughn could be
Braun.
a huge. He could be the guy that makes or breaks their chances of winning this Super Bowl because
Hmm.
he's having a great year. He came into the league as an edge rusher at Wisconsin, and now he's playing linebacker, and he's probably I think they're talking maybe possible All Pro at linebacker.
He got all
I
pro
mean,
this year, yeah.
it's insane.
Hmm.
Like the guy played his best ball as a outside or middle linebacker. So yeah, I mean, if you do want to put in some packages where he's just straight up like, okay, I've got Mahomes. If he doesn't scramble, I'm gonna go on a blitz then.
Hmm. Exactly.
It's there's a lot of things that are gonna go down in the Super Bowl, and it's all gonna depend on how the other team's defenses do.
Yeah,
Is and then another thing I want to say, if Philadelphia is scratching their head and they're wondering why Barkley isn't working, I'm honestly concerned. You know, can Hurts make the necessary plays?
that's true.
Is he going to make the right throw here? Is he going to try to go for it all on a fade ball to Devontae Smith, or is he going to take the check down to AJ Brown? Is he going to force it here? Like, oh, got it down the middle, but it's too high look, and the linebacker's dropping with him. You know, it's I don't know. My confidence is little shaky with Hurts is because all he's had to do all year is, yeah, oh, I've thrown for 250 yards, but that's after the fact that I've handed the ball off 25 times to Saquon Barkley. He's gone to the house 3 times already.
Hmm.
Like,
Yeah,
and this isn't me as like I'm not I'm a Cowboy fan. I don't really like the Eagles, but like,
yeah,
come
he
on,
hasn't done much. Yeah.
you gotta have trust in your quarterback, and
Hmm.
trusting your quarterback isn't you know it says something that you don't trust your quarterback when you're having to hand the ball off 20 to 30 times a game to a running back that you
Yeah,
just signed.
I feel like you also got to get creative in the Super Bowl, you know, because
Absolutely,
um,
absolutely.
you look at the AFC Championship and with there's a ton of short yardage situations that the Bills had where they just try to touch push with Josh Allen, and obviously the way the Bills do it and the way the Eagles do it are completely different. Where I think they said this on the broadcast, but the Chiefs are able to figure out like a little um, of exactly where Josh is going every time when I think it was he goes left every time.
He tried to go
And,
behind the
and
left
this
guard every time. Yeah,
yeah, and the scrummage and it's they were able to just push the left side harder, able to stop him a lot of the time, you know. I think it's a little different with the Eagles. Obviously, I think the Eagles have got it down more to a players are just
rhythm.
better, you know. The O line's better. Jalen Hurts is just better at it. You got better pushes in the back end of it as well, you know. But if the Chiefs are able to somehow figure out the Eagles touch push as well, they can't fall into that same lull of just, oh, let's keep trying. It's worked so much in the regular season. We have to keep trying again until it works. Because I think that's what the Bills try to do, and it obviously didn't end up working out for them, you know. So um, I'm not sure if the Chiefs will be able to figure it out because that touch push hasn't been stopped much, honestly. But um, that'll be an interesting thing. And then on the flip side, going kind of back to containing Mahomes, because it's easy to talk about it because like we're just saying the words to stop him, and obviously they'll stop him right now. Um, but Mahomes hasn't. I feel like Mahomes hasn't had to pull out the magic that he's been pulling off in like in past seasons. You know, like the crazy stuff that he's pulling off in the Tampa Bay Super Bowl that they lost. Um, but there hasn't been that kind of creativity or that improvisation out of him because they haven't needed it. But I think like the first time that I saw it in like a while, I feel like was um, against the Texans in the divisional where it was that red zone play where he gets caught on his feet from his feet, so he's going down. And he throws it into the end zone, and Kelsey gets that second touchdown of the game.
Hmm.
And I was like, I feel like that's the first time in a while that I've seen that type of crazy acrobatic just make something out of nothing play from Mahomes in terms of just like the ability, like not the defense dropping anything. But I feel like there's a very good chance that we could see that even if the Eagles do everything right, that Mahomes has that ability to just kind of um, make that random push and just do his thing, you know. So um, it's obviously going to be very close. Predictions wise, I'm going to go with the Eagles though. After saying all that, um, I'm going to take the Eagles in a decently low scoring game, 20-13, and if the Eagles win, it's for sure going to be Saquon taking up Super Bowl MVP. So that's the way I'm going to go.
I mean, yeah, based off what I was talking about, I mean, I'd see it again. Both teams are going to get over 20 because I feel like the defenses are good, but I just feel like the offenses are just not not that much better. But I have it as like a 27 to 20, 28-20 game win for the Chiefs, and Dillon isn't here today, but he also had the Chiefs winning, and he had a 27-17. And I think, and both of our MVPs, of course, it's Patrick Mahomes because I just you don't see this team winning. This team goes as far as Mahomes goes. If Mahomes is clicking on all cylinders and he's on time on all of his throws and he's making plays, it's hard to stop. It is hard to stop that offense. And then once that defense, knows that their offense is clicking, that defense plays with another like gear. Chris Jones, the defensive end. I don't want to butcher his last name, but he had 3 sacks in the
Colossus?
Texans. Yeah, like that kid's found a new gear since hitting the playoffs. The secondary, like Chris Jones has said the Chiefs are going as far as they are because of Spagnuolo, their defensive coordinator. If he takes, and he's thinking if he takes any other job, we're not going far next year. I go, huh? Like he's a defensive minded coach that changes as the years go by. Like this team
Mhm.
has won 4 Super Bowls in what, 5 years, 6 years?
Yeah, 6.
Yeah, like, and this is appearance number five in seven because
Mhm.
they missed out the L.A. Cincinnati Super Bowl, but it's crazy. Like just the thought of it. And Spagnuolo's been the DC for the entire time, and that defense has been good enough to win it all every time.
Mhm.
And yeah, I mean those are my picks, and all we got to do is wait till Sunday. I think
Yeah.
it's gonna be a doozy. But I think our next topic we're going to talk about is something that's happening in between during
Yep.
the game.
I mean, we got to talk about this halftime show, man. I mean, this was my number one artist 2 years ago now, you know, my number two artist this past year, my Spotify Wrapped, Kendrick Lamar. I mean, this is going to be amazing. I'm just so excited for that. I'm probably more excited for the halftime show than I am for the actual game. Just 'cause I don't, but yeah, I mean, Kendrick along with SZA, who's phenomenal as well. Um, but yeah, do you have any songs that you're wishing for, hoping for that you see from this?
I want to take a jump back to when I was in the middle school, like sixth, seventh, and eighth grades. I would not be mad if Humble and DNA are played during, but Pray for Me from his Black Panther album, All the Stars with SZA, I think is a guaranteed, knowing that SZA is going to be performing with him. Uh, but also, yeah, but when I bring up Pray for Me, I hope that he possibly brings the weekend to
That would be
along for
crazy.
that. It'd be crazy.
That would be
But
crazy.
what other songs do you have? I mean, other than Not Like Us, which is I think
That's for sure. I mean,
that's
that
for
thing
sure.
just swept the Grammys with 5 wins, you know. So
Exactly,
um,
exactly.
that's for sure going to be there. I mean, he played. I think he played Mad City and All Right um, at the last Super Bowl. It was with Dre and Eminem and Snoop and all those guys. I think there's a chance that he plays all right again. I don't know about Mad City. Um, I'm looking through his discography right now. He might play like that. And if he plays like that, then we could see Metro in future. I don't know how likely that is, but there's a chance. Um, I did see him at ACL back in 2022, so like right before the beef and all that. And N95 was his opener, and that's a chills, bro. It was absolute amazing. Um, I think my all-time favorite song of his is probably King Kunta. Not sure if he's gonna play that, but it'd be pretty cool if he did. If Baby Keem comes, which I think there's a very good chance that Baby Keem might show up just because they're family, literally. Um, then Family Ties is for sure going to be there. Family Ties would be fun as hell, I think, at the Super Bowl. And then obviously the stuff from his new album, he's TV Off is probably going to be there. Um, maybe Swabble Up, maybe there's the one with SZA. What was it? Luther. That's what it's called. Luther. That doesn't really feel like a
I'm blanking on the.
Super Bowl type song though, so maybe not.
I'm, I feel like a lot of people would be screaming mustard for it as well.
That's yeah, TV Off. Yeah,
TV off, yeah. I feel like that might be
yeah.
one that he might play
I
as
think
well.
that one for sure. Trying to see. Don't
This
Kill
might
My
be
Vibe.
this Super Bowl halftime show might be the most watched since Super Bowl. I can't remember the number. All I know is the Snoop Dogg, Dr. Dre, Eminem, 50 Cent,
Yeah,
Kendrick.
what was it 3 years ago now? I think. Yeah,
I do believe so. Uh, yeah, 2 years ago, 3 years
and
ago,
we're also probably gonna see some like SZA solo songs now that I think about it.
probably,
Like,
probably.
nah, but SZA's more of like a low key type of other stuff. Like she's more pure R&B type. So I don't know how much of that will translate to because I don't think she's gonna sing like Kill Bill or Good Days. Like you said, All the Stars is for sure gonna play. Um, I'm not sure about her. I know she had just had a new album come out a little bit ago, but I didn't listen to it low key. Call me fake, but yeah, I'm just excited for it. It'll be fun. I think. I mean, he was absolutely there. Like so at ACL, he was obviously the headliner that night, and his plane actually got. I was there the first weekend, and his plane actually got delayed. So I think his set was supposed to start at. I think it's supposed to be a 8 to 9 set or something like that, maybe 7:30 to 8 9 set. Um, his plane got delayed, so we're all standing there. It's packed at 7:30, just standing there waiting for him. And he only gets there at 8:30, and Austin has like a noise curfew, I think, at 9, which is why the festival ends at 9. And so like he's like rushing through his entire set. So he goes N95, and then he goes like loyalty, and he goes up through all of it, all of it, all of it. It's like 9. It's just now 9, and he hasn't really had like that closing song. And so he's like, I'm gonna keep performing until they turn this MF mic off. And he starts playing the intro for it, All Right starts, and everyone just goes crazy. It was so much, and so everyone's like,
This
go
was in Austin.
in Austin, yeah, at ACL, and
They
so
have they have a curfew.
yeah, they have a curfew. I didn't know that until the festival either. It's kind of
I
stupid, but
that's dumb. Like
yeah,
I don't
and so I think
what?
at like 9:10 they like cut his mic off in the middle of All Right, and the entire crowd is like chanting, "We gonna be all right." We gonna be all right. It was crazy. It was so much fun.
That must have been so
But
much fun, dude.
yeah, it was. It's either 9 or 10. That was the cutoff time. I don't remember exactly, but um, yeah. So if the energy, he's for sure gonna bring so much energy at the Super Bowl. So I'm super excited for it, and he's got the tour coming up after that. The GNX tours. That'll be fun. I don't know if I'm gonna go to that. It's like $200 for like the top seats. So yeah,
Dang.
it'll be.
Where's this at? In Dallas or
Yeah, I think it'll be at AT&T. Yeah,
two
AT&T,
200?
200 for all the way to the top. So I'll have to go into my piggy bank if I want to go to that. But yeah, it's gonna be an amazing Super Bowl. I'm trying to think. Oh, I gotta ask, what color do you think the Gatorade is gonna be?
Oh, for the Gatorade dunk?
Yeah, the Gatorade bath.
Oh, for whoever wins?
Uh-huh.
Ooh, I don't know. I think give me lemon lime. Give me lemon lime. I think it's gonna be
Lemon
yellow.
lime, so yellow.
I think it's gonna be
I think
yellow.
it's gonna be blue. Let me, because I think it was like it was a weird color. Yes, last year if I remember, it was like
Wasn't it orange last year?
it was either
I think it was like
orange or
orange, blue, or
purple.
green. Did I see green at all last year? It's gonna be crazy.
Let me look this up. Uh,
That's the biggest part of winning a Super Bowl is that the coach gets dunked with Gatorade. Like it needs to happen.
let's see. Oh,
Are you
let me
looking
try
at
to
a
find
video
this.
right now of what the Gatorade bath
Yeah.
does?
Last year it was pretty. I was purple last year.
It
It's
was
been purple
purple
the last
last year.
2 seasons. Yeah.
Ooh. You know
So
what? If it was
purple.
purple the last few years, I think they might do purple again this year
Yeah,
because
purple has the highest odds right now.
there might be certain superstitious trainers that might just go purple because they've done it the
That's
past few
true.
years.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go purple.
I will
I'm gonna go
say their
purple.
first Super Bowl, or the first Super Bowl that they won in 2020, was orange for that first Chiefs win.
It's true, but they've gone
And
purple the
then
last two times they've won. So
mhm. So it was purple, purple. Rams had blue. Tampa had blue. Chiefs had orange. Patriots before that had blue. Eagles had yellow in their win. Um,
uh, so nobody likes the lemon lime. Now the last couple of Super Bowl winners don't like
yeah,
lime
yeah.
lemon lime.
Yellow's pretty clear. From 2005 to 2008, it was clear. What the heck?
What do they do? Glacier cherry or just do straight water?
I probably surely the Glacier one, right?
Yeah, glacier cherries. That's the clear, or it's
But,
clear-ish. It's more white, but
but yeah, purple has the highest odds at plus
I,
175.
yeah, I'm gonna go purple.
Um,
I'm gonna go purple Gatorade.
all right, I'll ask Dylan after this and get his written down as well, so we can see who gets it right. I'm gonna stick with blue.
You're gonna
Um,
stick with blue. All right.
no, it's a little bit of a long shot. It's at plus
Well,
450.
I would say purple if Chiefs win. I'll say yellow if the Eagles win.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah,
If the Eagles win, I'm going yellow. But if it's purple if the Chiefs win because they've been there for the past 2 years, and I feel like there's some superstitious trainer that's superstitious. Like, man, we're sticking with the purple Gatorade, and we're not changing.
yeah. I'm looking through like these prop bets that they have now. It's like some of these like some of they have national anthem length is going to be over or under 121 seconds.
I'm gonna take the. I'll take the
I'm going to
under.
write this down.
I want to take it. I think it'll last 120 seconds. I think somebody's gonna take.
Okay.
If it's Fergie, it's going over.
Yeah, that's for sure.
It's
So you
100%
say,
going over if it's
uh,
Fergie.
yep,
And she's gonna butcher it like she did in the All Star game.
yeah, for real. Um, so I think it's saying here that under is slightly more favorable than over. I want to go
Okay,
under as it
bro, give
says,
me
will
Chris.
Taylor Swift be shown during the national anthem?
No. Oh,
Okay. It's saying no is a pretty heavy favorite, but I don't know.
they might show her early, and they may not show her the rest of the game
That's true.
until if the Chiefs win, they'll show her every chance they get
That's true.
because they know that during the time when she first, like last year, they showed her after every Travis Kelsey play, and
Yeah, yeah,
it drove me bananas, dude. It drove me insane seeing Taylor Swift after every Travis Kelsey play.
yeah,
And
for
then during
real.
the Super Bowl, he has the game of his life, and I'm going, no Taylor? I don't even
Let's
like
switch
it, but the
up.
fact that y'all are like blatantly not doing it now, it's
Uh-huh. It's switching
crazy.
crazy. Exactly. Some of these are crazy. They got, or this one's, I mean, it's, will the first play be a run or a pass? I think that it's probably going to be a run.
What's the coin toss going to be? Is it going to be heads or
Yeah, heads
tails?
or tails. Yeah. It says, will
uh,
any 300-pound player score a touchdown? I don't
no,
think
I
so.
don't
Not
think
in
so.
this one.
I
No.
mean, unless there's a strip sack and Jordan Davis goes 90 yards, like James Harrison went 100 yards back
Yeah,
in 2011.
there's no way. It says, who will have more on Super Bowl Sunday? Cade Cunningham points or Patrick Mahomes completions? That's a crazy one.
Ooh,
Who do they play on
I'm
Sunday?
yeah. Who are
Pistons
the?
Pistons play the Hornets at 12 p.m. on Sunday.
I may take the Cunningham points, dude.
Over completions. Cunningham, because Cunningham he
Cunningham's
passes a lot.
Cunningham just dropped 40 on the Mavs before they traded Luca, so he's on a burner right
Really?
now.
Am I true? I didn't even
Especially
remember
after
that.
finding out that he's an All-Star reserve, he dropped 40 on the Mavs.
Hey, I don't know. I think I might lean Mahomes just kind of like
I'm leaning
because
Mahomes as
Mahomes might
well, but
be.
I think it's going to be tight between those. If the game goes into overtime, Mahomes, because he's
Yeah,
already going to throw the ball like 50 times. He's going to
exactly.
throw the ball another 10 times in overtime.
Yeah. So I think Mahomes is for sure gonna get high 20s at least.
Yeah, for sure.
Cade, Cade, because he's playing the Hornets, is probably gonna get high 20s as well, though.
I could see 30s, dude. I'm
Yeah.
serious. The guy's a bucket.
See, the last time he played the Hornets, he had 18.
Mm.
The time before that, he had 27. Time
So yeah,
before that, he
maybe
had 20.
maybe you take the under. Maybe we do take the
Yeah.
under. Maybe he's like 20, the 20-29 point range,
Yeah.
unless
I think I'm gonna go Mahomes over.
yeah, I'll go Mahomes as well. Um, and I think the first play, if it's the Chiefs, I think they might run the ball first. And if it's the Eagles, it's 100% a run first. They're gonna try to
Yeah.
establish the run. Uh, but I could also see the Chiefs play action straight into a bomb right off the first play.
Yeah.
That's just something I feel like that was just something Andy Reid would do. Um,
That's true.
what else? Who's gonna draw the first penalty?
It's gonna be CJ Gardner Johnson for sure.
Oh, for sure. He's gonna hold Travis Kelsey, or he's gonna hit somebody. He's gonna hit a dude too hard after a play. He's unnecessary
Yeah.
roughness, face mask, personal, pass interference, that kind of stuff. Um, first sack, I think you might give that to the Eagles
Yeah. That's gonna be like.
because the Eagles
I don't want to
have
say Jordan Davis. I don't think so.
Jalen Carter's been on a tear, dude.
Bro, there's one that says, if the Chiefs win, will Andy Reid be doused in barbecue sauce after the game? There's no way. There's
What?
no,
No, he's
there's
not
no
going to.
way.
Will he be given a hamburger? Probably. Absolutely.
Yeah, that's true. That'll happen.
Um,
Um, how
will
many players will
Travis?
have a passing attempt over 2.5 or under 2.5? I might take the over low key.
Wait, you're thinking that there might be like a running back pass and a wide receiver
Yeah,
pass? Maybe.
because
I could possibly see that.
I don't
What
think the
you're
Chiefs have ever done one in the Super Bowl, and I feel like the
it's the
Chiefs,
it's the last game of the season. You might as well pull out the all the stops, dude,
exactly.
for both teams. Here's one. Will Travis Kelsey retire after this game, or slash will he propose to Taylor?
If he propose, he might.
He
I
might
think if they
legit.
win, I think he
If they
might have
win,
to.
he'll probably propose to Taylor and walk away
Yeah.
from the game because the guy will go
Hey.
down as the greatest tight end of all time for sure.
Yeah. For sure, greatest playoff tight end.
But I'll tell you this though,
Greatest.
this is a little. This is I think I don't know. I want to say it's a spoiler, but Travis, if when you do hang up your cleats, if you're hearing this, Travis,
He is. Yeah.
Brock Bowers is coming for your spot. I'm calling it now.
That is very true.
Just after this 1 year, Brock Bowers is coming after the top tight end in NFL history. Bearing any injuries or setbacks, this kid is legit. Like
That is very
no
true.
guy at 6'5", 208, 250 pounds should be running as fast as he should.
Hmm.
You know, well, I mean, I've I've flopped on a lot of predictions before, but I feel like this might be one that really should,
Yeah, you never know.
panned out well. Of course, that and getting out of Vegas, of course, because goodness gracious, those Raiders suck.
Yeah, I mean, if he's doing that with how the Raiders are right now,
He did that with
imagine
Gardner Minshew, and he
Aiden
led
O'Connell.
rookies. He led rookies in receptions, dude, with Minshew, O'Connell.
Yeah,
It was bad, dude.
and they have the freaking ESPN has like a whole um, Taylor Swift themed bits, and they have
How many times is it going to
Endgame.
be shown during the game?
And they have one called Endgame, where it's Kelsey to score a touchdown. Treacherous is another Swift song. Kelsey to score or record one plus reception each quarter. That might happen.
How many times is Not Like Us going to be played going into commercial during the game?
Oh my God, that would actually be crazy.
I'm going to say over two. They're gonna play it going into halftime and going out of halftime.
Going out of halftime. Oh, that's a good pool, low key. That's a
Oh,
good pool.
for the Super Bowl winners, how many times is Lombardi going to be kissed by a player?
Oh,
I'm
that is
taking
good.
I'm taking over five. When they're walking it to the podium,
Five
it's
is.
gonna be it's gonna be
I'm
over
saying at
five
least like seven.
players. At least 5 or 7 players are gonna kiss that trophy or something. It's
That's
gonna
a good
happen.
one.
Yeah, these thoughts are just flying into my head now. It's like
Yeah,
I've watched so many Super Bowls, and every time there's at least 5 players
yeah. It's literally
kissing that
anything that
trophy.
happens, you
It's
can
like,
bet
man, are
on
we sure
basically.
that's sanitary?
I don't know. Coin toss odds, national anthem, halftime show. Oh, they have like odds on what's the first song is gonna be.
Ooh.
It says humble is the highest
No, but a
or
gentleman,
odds.
even a gentleman.
That's very possible.
Yeah, I could definitely see Humble opening up the concert,
Yeah,
and then possibly closing with Not Like Us. Or you could start with
I
just
think
you start out with "Psst, I see dead people."
oh that would be crazy too, Loki.
That'd
Yeah,
just be just to kick off the Super Bowl. The halftime show would be awesome.
man,
Um,
that's actually tough. Like, do you end with that or do you start with that?
I think you start with that. I really think he's crazy enough to where he could probably start with Not Like Us and then end with Not Like Us, and they'd be completely
That's
fine with it.
true. Because he did the pop out concert and he played it like
He did it
five
like
times
two or three
straight or
times in a
something.
row. Yeah,
Yeah,
and he had Russell Westbrook, DeMar DeRozan,
DeMar. Yeah, he had everyone.
LeBron, KD. They were all on the stage just dancing with
That's
him.
true. Dang,
Uh,
that's gonna be crazy, bro. Oh
you
my
have anything
God.
else, bro? Because I feel like we're just
I think we covered almost everything that we had. I don't know if you have anything else, but
nah. I'm good. I feel like this is going to be a very entertaining Super Bowl. I feel like not just the
for
game
sure.
itself. I'm also looking forward to what kind of commercials are we going to get. They've kind
That's
of
true.
gone.
Yeah.
They've trended downward in terms of the funny
hmm
department. I'd say they stopped being funny in like 2020. Uh,
Like, there's no like memorable ones anymore. Like.
no, like I remember, the freaking Doritos commercial where the baby
hmm
shot out was caused a woman to go into labor because he was
Yeah.
chasing the Dorito, and that
Yeah.
was like back in the 2010s.
Yep.
Like, man, we need more of those. Like
I
those
don't
kind of
know.
Super Bowl commercials were awesome.
I don't know
Now
if you
it's
remember,
like
but Puppy Monkey Baby is probably my favorite Super Bowl commercial of
I
all
was
time.
about to I was about to bring that up. I,
That was
I had the song, the rhythm going in my head
for
as
real.
you were before you said it, dude.
That was probably the greatest one. That was so funny.
Um,
That was Mountain Dew, I think, right?
yes, it was a Mountain Dew, like some crazy Mountain Dew drink that was like a mix of something. That's why they had a Puppy Monkey Baby,
Yeah.
which still makes zero sense to me. Um, what else?
Trying to
I know
think.
they have a Super Bowl commercial with Shane Gills and
With Post
Post
Malone.
Malone.
Yeah, yeah.
There's another one, I believe. It's a Super Bowl commercial that has Pat McAfee as a school principal talking about flag football tryouts for
Oh,
females.
really?
And I think I just saw it today.
For really interesting. I haven't seen that one.
I think it's
Um,
going to be. I think we'll see it during the Super Bowl, but I don't see much. I've really they've been underwhelming and underperforming ever since the
yeah, I
turn of
guess
the
the
decade.
most I'm just like looking. I'm like looking through the past ones. The most memorable, I think, ones like from recently is probably like the Tide ad one, where it's like almost every single commercial is like, oh, it's a Tide ad, it's a Tide ad, you know?
That's true. Yeah, yeah, I do remember that.
Yeah.
I think there was one that had like a Mr. Clean commercial, and it showed and Mr. Clean was dancing to a song from like Dirty Dancing or something, and it
Oh,
was
really?
it was funny, but then very odd at the same time.
Uh-huh.
It's like,
I don't think I
no,
remember that one.
I could be wrong. I could be wrong.
And then
I'm
there's
not
also those
thinking
like
of it.
random like um like the sad ones, you know, like the super
Oh
heartfelt
yeah,
commercials, just like randomly in there.
like I remember.
It's gonna be like
I don't- uh,
Budweiser, I think, always does it, like with the
yeah,
horses or the dogs or something.
yeah.
And
I do think they might do a. Uh, they could possibly do a. They might do what they did in 2021 or 22 when they had there was that ad. They just showed a QR code for like 30 seconds,
oh yeah, it was like that.
and the website crashed.
Uh-huh.
I 100% believe that there might be another one of
Not
those.
like an NFT thing or something.
Yeah, exactly,
It's like some finance thing, some crypto,
exactly.
something
Yeah.
like that. Yeah, I
hmm
remember that one.
What
There's also the
I mean,
one of well, it was like Tubi or something, Fubo, one of those ones where it like started off like it was coming back from a commercial, and it was um Burkhardt and Olsen like talking about the game, and all of a sudden like switches and looks like it's on the home screen of like a streaming app, and goes to like
yeah,
another
I
movie.
do
Yeah,
remember that. Yeah,
yeah, that one was
yeah, you
also
can see
pretty
one of
good.
those. I want to laugh. I want to laugh at some Super Bowl commercials. That because I remember when I was younger, I would see my parents and I would laugh at some Super Bowl commercials because they were just funny, like the M&M
Yeah.
commercials. I exclusively remember a Super Bowl commercial being they're talking about the dark chocolate M&M. They're introducing her, and then the red M&M comes in and yells, This is a kind of party," and it looks like he rips off his color, and it's just the chocolate,
Oh, sh what the
and
heck?
then starts dancing to that song, "I'm Sexy and I Know It." Like I vividly remember that. It's terrifying, but I vividly
Oh.
remember it, dude.
Is that like the ones where like the no color M&Ms or something? I remember there's like that. It was just like the
It was
chocolate,
the milk.
you know.
It was the dark chocolate M&M, the brown chocolate
Uh,
M&M being introduced to the M&M family.
uh-huh.
And there were other ones of like the ones that you see every other day now of
Hmm.
the secret mission for the peanut M&M and red for red and yellow. Like, no,
Yeah,
this is an envelope. It's like,
that was a
duh.
perfect impression.
uh,
Wait,
but yeah, I just need some fun.
for
I'll
real.
enjoy the Super Bowl, but this is gonna be a fun. Super Bowl Sundays are always fun. Not just
It's just a good
ooh.
time.
I want to bring up another. What's a possibility? But not many of my friends drink, so. Uh, but I am planning on making a pretty mean 7-layer dip for whichever party I'm going
Oh,
to.
oh shoot. Okay.
I'm going to talk to my mother tomorrow about it. I don't get paid till Thursday, but when I get paid that night, I'm going to get the stuff I need, and I'm gonna. Well, I'm not gonna be able to do it Thursday. I'd have to do it Friday. But yeah,
I
I'll
was
get
gonna
the
go hard.
ingredients. I'm
Yeah.
gonna get the ingredients. I'm gonna get the pan. I'm gonna cook it. Or not make it. I'm gonna make it. Put it in my fridge. Take it out on Sunday and take it to my friend's house, dude.
Yeah, there you go. That's gonna be a good time.
Because my buddy, he's had it before and he's enjoyed the heck out of it. So I'm like,
Uh-huh. Show it to the world.
let's learn how to make some 7-layer dip. All right.
Exactly. You gotta
But
maybe you gotta
yeah,
start selling it too, you know?
yeah,
Side
that'd be
side
great.
hustle.
Hey man, it would be awesome. Well, I mean, do you have anything else? I mean, we're just having just a
Yeah.
conversation now, but
No, I think
I'm ready to
we
roll.
covered everything we covered. I'm ready for Sunday, you know. Next week we'll talk about it probably. We'll get Dylan back on here. Um, some of us will be happy, some of us will be sad, you know, depending on the result. Hopefully the halftime show can kind of cure all sadness if there is any. But Until then, I think we're good.
Yeah, I'm good, man. Thank you
All
for taking the
right.
war room.
I don't know how to end this. And there you go. Bang. Bang.